The episode jumps straight into things with a yellow alert and some poor red shirt cadet named Sidhu, who has explosions happening all around her. Not a nice way to start your shift. Not only do you have to worry about all of the other disasters happening, but when stuff breaks, the least important people are the ones who have to clean it up. A desperate bid to survive so that you get to find a broom and dustpan. But before she can even think, two guys come by with a prisoner and a high-tech substitute for the bag over the head. Some kind of Buckminster Fullerene alternative, I guess. They're dumping him on Sidhu because the way to the brig is blocked and they have better things to do. But don't worry, I'm sure you'll get to help sweep up that rubble too. They explain that the prisoner is guilty of mutiny, and the reason for the funky mask is that it's Captain Pike underneath. As soon as they leave, he gives her an order to open comms, but she points out that prisoners are not allowed to give orders, which we'll call rule number 1 for prisoners, since it's probably the most important for these situations. She tells him to take a seat and not talk, but instead, he keeps walking around and talking, so off to a good start. He explains this is all because of a distress signal that was picked up from the USS Bowman, which was part of a Tholian trap. And for disobeying orders, Pike's been relieved. Sidhu's husband wound up on the Bozeman, the two of them having survived a Tholian attack a couple years ago. Given that, Pike hopes that maybe she'll release him and the two of them can try to save her husband and anyone else still alive. I mean, he doesn't mention them, but I assume that they wouldn't just tell the other survivors, "Good luck, hope you married someone in a position to help too." Sidhu refuses, so Pike points out that in a tactical situation, the Enterprise would have command rather than this starbase. Except I don't think that lets a captain overrule an admiral. The rules probably don't work that way. So even if Sidhu wanted to use the loophole that allows her to restore Pike to duty, since this is an emergency, they're not going to get very far. It's just going to end with both of them being captured and probably being guarded by the cook. So Pike cranks up the pressure, but she stands firm, even when he says that not helping him is going to torpedo her career, but she still won't back down. So lucky for her, Pike isn't the jerk that he's acting like. This is all a test.
But why you? You're pretty busy, sir.
Oh, I just love cadets. When I'm done on the Enterprise, I plan to work with them as much as I can. She applied for the Enterprise, and it sounds like she's got the job. We've seen numerous times full immersion tests of extreme situations have been done. Since she was going for the top-of-the-line ship, it looks like Pike took this particular opportunity to, put the screws to her, although it seems that number 1 cooked up the scenario. It called for clever planning and the ability to screw with people's heads, so that's right in her wheelhouse. But that's it. Newest member of the crew, and time to make it so, I guess. Ask Not is another downright miniature outing for short treks, although that's preferable in this case because drawing out the situation any longer would have been needlessly repetitive, reduced the drama, and probably made the situation obvious. The episode's theme is all about rising above the personal attachments that can tempt us to disregard our duties, especially in a case of the cult of personality, when a charismatic individual like Pike here can say that breaking or bending the rules is okay. While this is Sidhu's story, this reiterates what we know about Pike's character, how he takes a hard line on moral issues and believes in doing the right thing rather than the morally compromised easier path. The reason that Admiral Cornwell will say that saving the Enterprise from the war really was saving the best of Starfleet. Fans have discussed why this might be called Ask Not, given the two most obvious and yet unlikely sources for it, the misquoted, "Ask not for whom the bell tolls," and "Ask not what your country can do for you." The most likely is in reference to a Gordon R. Dickson novel called Soldier, Ask Not. The title of the book is a reference to the marching song of the troop. Soldier, ask not, now or ever, where to war your banners go. Anarch's legions all surround us. Strike, and do not count the blow. I think it's this because the character in the book is similar to Pike in some ways, being charismatic, a soldier, and a man of faith. Pike's position in this is less about the direct, obey the chain of command that the ask not what your country can do for you might imply. It's more about choosing the righteous path, even if it means sacrifice, to not allow the emotion of the moment to justify actions that you will later regret. Ask Not is the third and final one featuring the Pike-era Enterprise crew, and while not as good as Q&A, shows why there's certainly potential in exploring that crew further. Tests like these are another fruitful use of the Short Treks format to serve as a sort of mini-pilot for ideas. And that's not a bad thing.